in the 501st Infantry Ranger Division in Watch, what do you call it? Fort Lewis, Washington. That's where they're at. That's all there is, you know. What do you call it? It's not like a very like like nothing in my memory sticks out about anything really. You know, that time of my life was a transition time, and it improved many things in my life. But it's just like not something that I really even think about at all. Probably, you know, like so my memories are very faded, if that makes sense to you, you know. And back when I was 17, many decades ago, the Army had a deal to where you could get out of detention or jail and go to the Army. Maybe every armed force man I had, it might not just been the Army. And that's what I did. So when I was 17, I went to the Army and got out a year early, you know, and had did my 2 years in the Army, and that was it. And then I went from there to trying to wrestle, you know. I was living in Cleveland, Ohio, and wanting to wrestle. And back then, they had the wrestling magazines every month. And Bill Apter had a monthly article in the magazine, you know, and it had a contact information for him. So I said, what the hell? And I wrote him and asked him where I could learn to wrestle, you know. And he sent my letter back to me, and on the bottom of it, he just wrote, try Kowalski's, and put Walter Kowalski and left his number. And I called Walter and went on from there, you know. And Walter was in Boston. So I moved from Cleveland to Boston and started to learn to wrestle, you know. I was born and raised in Cleveland until I was 17. I consider Boston my home, though. And even though I don't live in Boston now, I live in Minnesota due to my in-law got relocated because of in-laws and stuff. But Boston's home to me. But yeah, I spent my child years in Cleveland, Ohio, you know. I had a pretty difficult childhood, so that part of my life I grew from and bettered myself from, but nothing that I would ever reminisce about or anything, you know, get, what the fuck is it called? You know, where I think fondly of it, you know, that doesn't, you know, and that's why Boston is home, you know. I have my friends there that I talk to every day, and, you know, I lived in Boston. I lived in New York on Long Island when I was in ECW. I lived in Atlanta, you know, but Boston's home. My mother and stepfather didn't talk to my family anymore, and so I didn't see them. You know, my grandfather died when I was younger, and I didn't see like anybody else in that family I'd never seen since I was a little kid, you know, and because my mother had to fight with the family, and they didn't, you know. I just never seen them, and then I'm not close to my immediate family. I haven't talked to them in decades. So, and we'll never talk to, you know, just how it is. And I don't feel I miss anything on it. And I'm also stubborn or whatever it is, where I don't care. I'm not going to try to mend anything. I'm very happy with who I am and where I am. I'd like my financial situation to be better, but that is not anything to do with the person I am, you know, and that's the only thing I can really work on. A friend of mine named Louis, when I was in Boston, he was a bouncer at a bar, same bar I was a bouncer at, and I used to go off and fight immediately. And like had a really bad chip on my shoulder, and he really helped me be a better person, you know, better man. He would stay on me, and like best parts of my developing friends and stuff was all from Boston, you know. So that's why that's home to me, you know. My grandfather, I lived with him a bunch of years, and always took care of me, and you know, it was always a good relationship. You know, he was mean, and looking back at it, never mean to me, but he was mean, yelling all the time, and just high strung, I guess, but always good to me and stuff, you know. So he was very important to me, and like I had a couple crazy uncles that were pretty important to me. Like I had my uncle Frankie. We were there at some celebration because it's Italian families, everybody come together. And I had a black eye from my stepfather. My Uncle Frankie took him down to the bar, and my Uncle Frankie beat up like 10 people at the fucking bar. And the guy was just stunned at the violence. And he told him, that you think that's violence? You ever touch my nephew again, you know, you'll see violence. And that was towards the end of us being involved with the family, you know. So that's all right. It probably And like now, I don't feel it hurt me, but probably at the time it was, maybe short. Like I never really did anything with family or anything. So and now that I'm 58, I don't miss any of that. So and my life has been pretty good, man. I've had some stuff, but I've been pretty lucky. Some of the stuff I've done in my life, people would never believe if you tell. It's just I've had a pretty great life, and I'm very happy with the person I am today.